Hi, I'm Captain Steve Chaconis, and welcome to the National Bass Fishing Show. I love using crankbaits, and it's almost all the time when I take a crankbait out of the package, I start to make a few modifications. My favorite modification that I've kept secret for a long time is, I'll tell you in a minute, okay? But first, let me tell you what I like to start with. I like to replace the hooks. And when I replace the hooks, I like to go to a short shank triple grip. This allows me to move up in size of hook, get a bigger gap without having a longer shank on that hook. So if I'm replacing a 4, I'll replace it with a 2. If I'm replacing a 6, I'll replace it with a 4. This is what I'm talking about, the short shank triple grip. And I also like using red ones, and I'll tell you where I like to put them. I like to put red hooks on the belly of the bait, because if the theory is right, if a fish really uses that red hook and zones in on that red hook, then I want that hook to be the belly. I want them to get the whole bait in their mouth. So I mess with that. I'll put that short shank triple grip red hook on the belly. So it'd be like this, just about like that. Put that red hook right here on the belly. All right, now the other thing that I do is I change the split ring on the line tie. The nose of the bait has a round split ring. You can see that, has that round split ring. When you have a round split ring, you have to decide where you're gonna tie your knot. Am I gonna tie it in the split, or am I gonna tie it on the doubled part? Well, the debate goes on and on and on. I've heard both sides. We don't need to belabor that here, but let's go ahead and assume there's one that's better than the other. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use an oval split ring. They make split rings that are oval. Now you can see this oval split ring, and if you look on this one side, right here, you see that's where that single strand is. And by having the single strand right here on this side, it won't be where your knot is. You won't be tying there. Your knot will be in double, and the double will be on the hook hanger. Because what you don't want is you don't want that single edge catching that hook hanger and making that bait kind of go off kilter. It'll catch it there at the line tie, and it won't go straight. So I go with these oval split rings. Doesn't matter. You're going to always tie. Your knot is going to be either in the top where it's doubled, and your bait where the line tie is on your bait is also going to be doubled. The single ends where they meet together are going to be off to the side, so you don't have to worry about that. But one of the other things that I do, and this one I've kept secret for a long, long time. Back in the day, I noticed that some of my crankbaits had an orange belly. And as the bait maker started making, instead of putting the whole belly, they just put a little spot on the throat. Well, when I started to look at bait like bluegill or yellow perch or those kind of fish, they had orange on their bellies. So what I started to do is I started to take my baits and I decided to paint that whole thing orange. Here's one that came from the factory with the whole thing orange. But for some reason, bait companies don't do it all the time, or they put no orange at all. Now, how am I going to do that? I'm going to use one of these. This is a dye pen. It's a Spike It. It's orange. I can just take this thing and mark up the belly of the bait, you know, turn that belly orange, just like that. Put a stripe on there, anywhere that I want, just down the back of the bait. I don't even have to take the hooks off if I'm good enough. But I also, with something a little bit more permanent, something that's going to really glow, I use nail polish. That's right. I use fingernail polish. If you have a female friend, chances are she's got bottles and bottles of orange and bright blues. She's only wore it once with that one pair of shoes or that one outfit, and she's got jars and jars and jars of these things sitting around the house. Would love to get rid of them. Get them. Use them to touch up your baits. That orange on the belly works. Get that, and you'll have a lot more success with the existing baits that you have. You don't have to go out and get new ones. Okay? Tell your friends about us. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'd appreciate it. If you have any topics that you'd like me to cover, send me an email at nationalbass@aol.com. That's nationalbass@aol.com. I'm Steve Chaconis, Captain Steve Chaconis. Thank you very much for watching.